I'm here with Carol Kotsnitsky, and we have a few questions for you as we get ready for the Focus on Inclusion conference. To start off, I'd like to ask you, what do you see the greatest benefit of inclusive practices in our schools today?
Oh, well, there's so many, but the two that just jump to mind for me are, one, the social benefits for kids, in terms of being a part of the community that they live in. But academically, I think the more inclusive our practices are, the more we are able to provide kids with higher expectations, and when we have higher expectations for kids, they usually achieve them.
Thinking of universal design for learning, which is what you speak about very often anyway, what do educators need to know about universal design for learning and access for all learners?
Well, the concept I love about universal design is what's critical for some is good for all. So as we have higher and higher expectations for all kids, and classroom teachers are trying to meet those expectations with increasingly diverse student population, I think we need to find really efficient ways and effective ways for us to meet all of those kids' needs. And when we're able to look at kids on the margin, kids who are either performing way above or way below, and we can plan for them, usually that means we're going to meet the needs of a lot of other kids as well. So I think that's really the key piece about universal design, is that it's truly about making instruction and schools accessible for all kids. And it really doesn't make the distinction between disability or non-disability.
So in a broader sense now, looking at all educators, when you look around and interview and talk with different teachers around the country, really, what do you see as the most common issue facing our work as educators these days?
I think people are trying to find the balance between accountability, the expectations to do a lot with kids, but also to individualize and personalize. And that issue of, they seem competing at times. And I think time is an issue, and opportunities for thoughtful professional development and reflection on their practices.
So we've met a few times, and you've gotten to meet all the parts of our team for the IEP Resource Center. So what are your impressions so far working with us on?
Oh, they've been really positive. I think the materials you folks have developed, we've engaged in a lot of discussion about not the compliance part of IEPs, but truly what's the intent of IEPs? How do we make them meaningful for kids? And I think you folks are right on target with the work you're doing. And I think you've found that right balance of, we need to tend to the compliance aspects of IEPs, but it's really about kids and it's really about progress. So I think you folks are doing a wonderful job. And I've really been pleased to be able to partner with you on this conference.
So when you think of education in general, and we've been talking about inclusive practices, what do you think the future of education and inclusive practices are?
Well, I would hope that we will continue to engage in more and more inclusive practices for kids, and that at some point we would not be talking about inclusion because everyone would be included. No one would be excluded, so we would reach that goal of communities and schools that truly don't make distinctions, particularly based on disability.